Today in science, we're going to be going over Chapter 4, Lesson 1, Living Things in Their Environments, page 116, so 116. Find that in your book so you can follow along. Here is our list of vocabulary words while you're getting to page 116. Environment, habitat, adapt, desert, rainforest, grassland, tundra, ocean, pond, food chain, and food web. And as you know, as we read the chapters, you're going to see our vocabulary words highlighted in yellow, and right by the highlighted in yellow terms, it tells you the definitions of these words, okay? So we'll be learning these words as we go. So the next page, 117, says, I wonder, in what kind of environment do elephants live? And there's some really cute elephants. Okay, let's get to lesson 1 in chapter 4. What is an environment? And here's a good fast fact. Alligators live in lakes, ponds, and rivers. They can hide in the water while they hunt for food. You can draw conclusions to figure out why animals live in certain places. Okay, we're not going to do this experiment, so just turn the page. So we will start reading on page 120, okay? And the vocabulary we're going to hit in this lesson is environment, habitat, and adapt, okay? Environments and habitats. An environment is made up of all the living and non-living things in a place. Okay, so that tells you the definition. An environment is made up of all the living and non-living things in a place. So if somebody wants to know what an environment is, that's the answer. Animals and plants are the living things. Water, weather, and rocks are some of the non-living things. Environments can be hot or cold. They can be wet or dry. Animals and plants from one environment often cannot live in another one. They're not quite as adaptable as people. And then on page 121, it says, an environment is made up of different habitats. Ooh, that's a vocabulary word. A habitat is a place where living things have food and water and the kind of shelter they need. In a forest environment, a pond is a habitat for fish. Part of the forest may be a habitat for birds. What habitats do you see in this picture? So there's a habitat for a frog, fish, bird, squirrel. Go back over here. Got a few other things happening. So a habitat is a place where living things have food and water and the kind of shelter they need. So when we're talking about habitats, we have to make sure that the animals have water, food, and shelter in order for it to be a habitat, okay? And then turn to page 122. Let's see, let me get it here. People and environments. People can change environments. They may cut down trees and clear away other plants to build houses. When they do this, animals can lose their habitats. Environments also change when people bring in new plants or animals. People brought water. I don't really know how to say that, guys. Hyacinthus? I'm not sure. To Florida. I know it's this. It's like a little flower. But I don't know how to say it. Sorry. Hyacinthus, I think. I don't know. The water, that word I can't say, grew quickly and covered the water. They shut out air and light. The other plants began to die. The hyacinthus used all the oxygen in the water. Then the fish died. So was this a great plant to bring into and introduce into the Florida water? I think not. You have to be so careful when you're introducing new plants and trees and stuff to environments because it can ruin an environment. I mean, no oxygen in the water, yeah, of course everything's going to start dying off. So we need to be very careful with what we do as human beings. We have a lot of power. Page 123 says, how animals and plants adapt. Over time, animals and plants adapt or change to be able to live in their environment. They adapt in different ways to meet their needs. A fish has gills to take in oxygen from water. An otter has fur to keep it warm. Okay, so a vocabulary word, adapt, means to change so that you can live where, so that you can live in your environment. So you're going to change to be able to live there. That's adapt, okay? Let's look at page 124. Beaks and teeth. Animals' beaks and teeth are adapted to help them get food. You can tell what kind of food a bird eats by looking at the shape of its beak. Now, isn't that interesting? I did not know that. So let's look at it. Well, this one's pretty pointy and curved a little, but man, it's pointy. It eats insects. And then this one's a little bit of a wider beak, a little bit fatter, eats small seeds. Oh, and then the very big one eats big seeds. Interesting. I guess that one's the smallest beak so that it can get into tiny holes where insects are, right? I think so. You can tell what kind of food a mammal eats by looking at its teeth. Oh my goodness. A horse eats plants. Yeah, for sure. Those look like they're plant chomping teeth. A tiger eats meat. Yeah, he has really pointy, sharp teeth so that he can tear into the meat. That's kind of gross to think about. And a bear eats plants and meat. So he has some good chompers in the front to get those plants, but then he has some sharp teeth too to tear through meat. Oh, it's kind of morbid to think. It says, Lesson 1, what is an environment? Okay, we have water, a fishbowl, pebbles, plants, fish and snails, and fish food. Draw a picture to show how these materials can be used to make a model of how living things get energy. Feel free to use your book so that you can show me how that works. And then you're going to use your vocabulary, match the word to the words that tell about it. So environment, we got to find the definition over here. Habitat, find the definition. Adapt, find the definition. So then you'll just draw lines to wherever they go. This says a place where animals get the food, water, and shelter they need to live. I remember us reading about that. All the living and non-living things in a place. I remember us reading about that. And to change in order to live in an environment. Ooh, I definitely remember us reading about that just recently too.